Alright guys, today's the day. Today is the day we talk about Need for Speed 2015, also referred to as Need for Speed Underground 3 by the fan community, and that is just awesome because as we all know, Need for Speed Underground 2 was one of the best games, Need for Speed games that was ever released. In my opinion, it was probably the best. And why was it the best? Because it was literally like Fast and the Furious turns into a video game. It was like Fast and the Furious video game, you know. It was just one of the best ones. The only thing missing from Need for Speed Underground 2 was the cops, and it looks like they're in this one, obviously. So it looks like we're going to be having the best of both worlds from all the games. We're going to have customization, drifting, police, really all the great components from past games put all into this one. Which really makes sense because they're just calling this game Need for Speed. There's no subtitle or anything because it's just a brand new, it's a reboot. So really it's the best that they have to offer all in one, which is awesome. And one of the reasons I'm so excited about this game is I think it's the series is finally back on track. You know, for so long, the Need for Speed series, it's only been about exotic cars, you know, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and that's all you get, you know, and we can't really relate to that when we're driving. I mean, yeah, it's cool. I think you want to leave the Ferraris and Lamborghinis to simulation games, you know, because those are the types of games you're going to be able to feel what the car's like. You know, when I get on Forza, I might pick like a Bugatti or a Lamborghini because I think, you know what, I wonder what it's like to drive this car. But when I hop in Need for Speed, I feel like, you know, it's an arcade game and it should be more about the car culture, and that's exactly what this new title is trying to do. I mean, other games like Forza and stuff, they're great because they make you feel like, okay, I'm a race car driver and I get to go around the track like a professional. But that's not what Need for Speed is about. You know, it's great. It's such a cool game to put yourself in the role of street racer. You know, people who are going around doing illegal street racing, they're not going to be using million-dollar hypercars. They're going to be taking just regular average day cars or sports cars and modifying them, making them into what they want. And I think that's what makes Need for Speed, especially the older games back in the 2000s like Underground 2 and Carbon and all those other games, so relatable, is you could picture yourself in those cars, in that role of a street racer, going around racing other people with other modified cars. One of the things that the creators said for this was that they were going to make this game heavily based around the car culture of today. And I think this is evident in the customization that we've seen just in the trailer. You have wide body kits. You know, body kits might not be as popular as they were in the past, maybe early 2000s, but wide body kits they're a whole different story. You see the Rocket Bunny kits on all different sorts of cars, the JDM cars, they're even putting them on American Muscle now. So, I mean, wide body kits are still a huge part of the car community today. We also see things in the trailer like, you know, fitment, spacers on the wheels, just getting that stance. You know, stance is a huge part of the car community now as well. So it's kind of refreshing to see a game that focuses more on just the average, you know, tuning scene or car culture scene as opposed to pretending you're on a professional circuit. So anyway, that's my thoughts on this game. So for the quick walkthrough here, I'm not going to do like a super in-depth. I just wanted to point out some points of the gameplay trailer that I found were like awesome. So let's go ahead and start with this opening scene. I mean, we have a live action right here, which is kind of cool because they're going to be using actors to tell the story for this game. I'm assuming it's not just an E3 showcase thing. You know, I'm assuming this is how the story is going to be told throughout the game. But also, look at this transition here from live action straight to just gameplay. I mean, we just went from camera footage to this is now being rendered in the game, and it just transitioned like perfectly. You know, this is just, when I saw this is one of the first things, you know, we see in the gameplay trailer, and it's pretty impressive. Another thing we see here is just extensive customization, like the wheels right here. They just fitted the wide body kit, and the spacers and the wheels. You know, this is just typical things you would find like in car culture. I mean, this is like literally like a car that I've seen or close to this at a car meet. You know, and that's what I'm talking about, is these are cars that you would expect to see on the road, street racing, and that's what makes this game relatable. I think that's what's going to make this game fun, is to see just like average day cars modded out looking awesome like this. So we're finally out on the street here, and one of the things I saw that was I also thought was pretty impressive here is you can just be driving along and you see a street race off in the distance and he just joins on in, you know. The character's like, hey, you made it, and that's continuing this like theme of being seamless, you know, just like with the live action stuff we saw earlier. I hope this is a gameplay element that you can see street racers just off doing their own thing, and if you want to join in, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's kind of cool that you can just see people racing and just go ahead and, you know, join in. I think that's pretty awesome. Obviously now we have cops in the game, which is pretty cool. And if you notice in the top right corner, there's a fine that builds, and obviously as the more you run away and try and avoid cops, the fine, and crash into things, do whatever, the fine goes up. And I've actually read that you can pull over. I don't know why you would, but you can actually pull over and they will, you know, you just pay the fine. So I mean, you do have something to lose, like money in this game. You know, obviously you want to keep your money for upgrades and stuff. So it's kind of adding like a little bit more realism. You know, I think in some past Need for Speed games, the cops get you and it's just like, oh, you're busted, darn. But nothing really happens. I mean, maybe you start the race over or something. It's like you failed the race. But here, I mean, if you get caught, you know, not only do you fail a race, you lose money as well. So, but anyway, I mean, this is basically the whole trailer. I'm just pretty stoked about this. You know, I'm glad they brought street racing back. You know, no more I'm driving on a circuit, I'm a professional, you know, type of thing. I mean, which is cool in some games, but I'm glad that they finally are kind of going back to their roots. They're kind of going back towards the underground racing scene, even if it's just for this one game. I'm pretty stoked about it. So just let me know what you guys think. You're down in the comments. You know, if you guys are excited about this game too, share your opinions. Maybe we can do like a series on this game once it comes out. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you next time.